When was the last time you posted a status, blogged about your innermost thoughts, scrolled through your Twitter timeline? Chances are it was not too long ago. We are constantly plugged into the latest and greatest in online communication. But have you ever thought about how your social media presence would be classified? Well, lucky for you, there's a solution to your endless wondering, the social technographics ladder. First, let's back up to explain groundswell, the idea in which the ladder is based upon. Groundswell is defined as a social trend in which people use technologies to get things they need from each other, rather than from traditional institutions like corporations. This can range from blogs and member-driven news sites like Wikipedia, to social media sites like Twitter and Facebook, to user-generated content sites like YouTube. Now back to the ladder. As you climb, your participation in groundswell activity increases, starting at the bottom with inactives until you reach the top as a creator. Let's take a closer look at the different rungs on the social technographics ladder and how you can make the climb. Inactives have an online presence, as in they have a Facebook or a blog, but do not contribute to them. This makes up the smallest group on the ladder, with just 19% of Americans classified as inactives. I won't bother explaining how to be an inactive because A, it's an insult to your intelligence, and B, I don't endorse inactivism. The largest group on the ladder are also the laziest, which comes as no surprise. Spectators stand on the sidelines and consume what others produce. They read the blogs, watch the YouTube videos, look at the reviews without contributing to them. Most of us fall into this category, along with 68% of Americans. And there's nothing wrong with being a spectator. Consuming the groundswell that others produce is healthy and thought-provoking. It keeps you in touch and relevant to the rest of the world. Just don't stop there. Become a joiner. My selling point for this level is the classic, everybody's doing it. From 2007 to 2010, joiners grew from 25% to 59% of the online population. Joiners are those who participate in and maintain profiles on social media sites, such as Twitter or Facebook. Social media is about as popular as Justin Bieber and shopping at thrift stores these days. This is one time when it's okay to cave to peer pressure. Moving on up to collectors, who are the organizers on the ladder. Collectors save URLs and tags on social bookmarking sites and use RSS feeds. We have collectors to thank for the results we get when we use search engines, as they organize and classify information by tagging. Just 19% of online users make up this group, leaving a large amount of control in the hands of few. To join in on these decision makers, use sites like Delicious to tag information and create your own RSS feeds. You know the saying, everyone's a critic? Well, that's not true. Only 1 in 3 Americans are a critic, according to Groundswell, and the social technographic ladder. But the good news is, it's not hard to become one. Critics react to other content online by posting comments on blogs or online forums, posting reviews on things like movies, restaurants, and products, and editing wikis. So if you ever had a thought or an opinion on something, just put it into words and then put it on the internet. And boom, you're a critic. Just remember to keep it constructive. You've got 4 rings of users under you listening. The beauty of the internet is the ability it has to connect us to anyone and everyone. Conversationalists capitalize on this by participating in weekly back-and-forth dialogue with other users. It brings us all together. You can consume others' content, and you can produce your own, but until you're merging these into a conversation, your online presence remains static. So you've spectated on other views, you've created and shared your own, you've organized them and given feedback, and you've developed relationships with other users. Congratulations, you've reached the top of the ladder. Here lies the creators, the top dogs in the world of Groundswell. Creators are those users that generate the content that everyone else reacts to. They publish a monthly blog or article, maintain a web page, or upload video to sites like YouTube. Creators make up 23% of the online population. It takes a while to get to the top, but it's worth the climb. Creators are able to dictate the trends in Groundswell, making the internet their playground. Increasing your presence through the many facets of Groundswell keeps you well-rounded as a consumer. So much of how we interact and receive information these days is through Groundswell. So if you're not positioned somewhere on the ladder, you're becoming culturally obsolete. Now that you have a solid knowledge of the rungs of the social technographic ladder, it's time to start climbing.